Hello. In this math video, I will do a GED math video regarding equations of a line using 2 points. So yes, we're going to find the equation of a linear line when you're only given 2 points. So in the previous videos, sometimes they were given the slope, and sometimes they were given a slope and sometimes a point, and sometimes they gave you slope and your B. This time you're given 2 points, and we have to figure out the slope and the y-intercept, right? So, just a little refresher. Let's go over the formulas we have went over. So the first formula we went over is the slope, just regular slope formula, which is one way it could express it as m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? You use this if you're given 2 points. And then the other equation we definitely talked about is slope-intercept form. So we might use this one depending on the question. So if they ask you for a natural equation in slope-intercept form, then you would use this formula. Y equals mx plus b. And then the third one is the point slope form, or the 2 point. It's basically the point slope form. It's just that yeah, it is the exact 2 point form is the same thing as point slope form. So here I'll show you. It's basically y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? So the y1 and the x1 are subscripts and it's a point, and the m is a slope. Okay, so you probably seen these formulas in the previous videos, so we're definitely going to use these videos, I mean these formulas again, depending on the questions, right? Okay, do you have it copied down? Because I am going to clear. Okay, question one says, what is the y-intercept of a line passing through the points -2, 5 and 1, -1? Also find the slope of a line. So they want the y-intercept to be, so we're going to use this form. We're going to use two formulas. We got to find the slope when are given 2 points. So I'm going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And then I will also use the slope intercept form because y equals mx plus b. Because I got to find the y-intercept, which is technically the b. Okay, so what I'm going to do is see the 2 points they give us, -2, 5 and 1, -1. I'm going to label this as x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I'm going to use a slope formula. So what is my y2? So this is why I label it so it doesn't get confused. So my y2 is -1 minus my y1, which is 5. My x2 is 1 minus my x1 is -2. So on the top, what's -1 minus 5? -6. And then on the bottom, two negatives becomes a positive, so that's 3. What's -6 divided by 3? -2. Okay, so my slope, or m is the same thing as slope, is -2. Now we got to find the b. So what I'm going to do is use this equation. And the good news is we already have one thing, the slope, which is -2. So it's -2x plus my b. Now, how do I find my b? So what you do is you see these 2 points you chose, the 2 points they give us. You pick one point. It doesn't matter which one. So it won't be wrong if you use this point or if you use this point. I promise you it won't be wrong. So if I use this point, I don't know why, I'll just use that point. I'm going to substitute my y with -1. And then I'm going to substitute my x with +1, right? Because that's our coordinate. So I get -1 equals to -2 times 1 is -2 plus b, and then solve for b by adding 2 to both sides. And I get b equals 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so my equation is going to be -2x, and my b is 1. So what that means is my slope is, what's my slope? My slope is -2, and then my y-intercept, or my b, is just 1. So it looks like it's letter A, right? Y-intercept of 1 and slope is -2. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so a recap of what I did. So I had to use two formulas, this formula right here and this formula. So first I found slope by using this formula, plugging the point, and I got a slope of -2. And then I had to find the y-intercept by using this formula. So I get y equals -2x plus b. And then I couldn't automatically find b, so then what I did was I chose I pick two random points. I use this one or this one. It doesn't matter which one you use. So I use 1 comma -1, substitute my y with 1, substitute my x with -1, and then solve for b. And that's how I know that's my y-intercept. Okay, so that is letter A. Question 2, given 2 points of 3 comma -2 and -1 comma y, and the slope is 4, find the equation of the line. So Um, right. So if you look at all the choices A, B, C, D, my equation of the line is they use they use what formula did they use? They use slope intercept form, right? Y equals mx plus b. And then what formula else? I think we also have to use, okay, so this is a tricky one. So I think we also have to use the formula, the slope formula, y m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? And you'll see why. So first, I think I'll use this formula. So be careful. So my points are 3 comma 2 and -1 comma y. Uh-oh. This looks a bit confusing because shouldn't this be a number instead of a letter? Yes. And we'll use this formula to find that number. And then, yeah. So let's look at this formula very carefully. This time we actually have the slope. We do have the m. They said the m is 4. So we're going to say 4 equals, and then I'm going to carefully label this x1, y1, x2, y2. So my y2 is y minus my y1 is 2. My x2 is -1 minus my x1 is 3. So it's going to be 4 equals y minus 2. And then do the bottom, what's -1 minus 3? -4. And then I'm going to solve for this y. So how do I solve for y? Well, because here, let me write it out here. So we have 4 equals y minus 2 over -4. How am I going to solve for y? Because there's only a left and right side, you can what's called cross multiply. Right? If there's more than two sides, you're gonna have to get rid of the denominator by multiplying all three sides by the LCD. But I don't have to do that. If you don't have to do more work than you have to, then why should I? So this 4 has an invisible 1, and then I'm going to cross multiply. So 4 times -4 is -16. And then 1 times y2 is y minus 2. Solve for y by adding 2 to both sides. And then -16 plus 2 is 15, -14. Okay, so now we're going to use this formula because we have everything we need, right? So y equals m. What is my m? 4. That was given, right? 4x plus b. Now, what is my b? Okay, we actually haven't found it, but before we go any further, there are some things that you can eliminate. Which of these can you eliminate automatically? Because this is a multiple choice, right? And you will have a time limit, so it's good to just cancel what you don't need. So we can cancel letter A. Why? Because it doesn't have a slope of +4. It looks like your slope is -4. We could also cancel letter B because it also has a slope of -4. So it's either C or D. Okay, so what did we do here? We did all this work just to find this missing Y, right? Uh, so now our 2 points are 3, comma 2 and -1, comma -14. Did you know, I just realized this, did you know we didn't even have to find this Y? Because all we need is 2 points, right? You could have used this point, you could have also used this point, so you didn't really have to find this Y. So I think I'll use this point. I don't know why. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to replace my Y with 2, replace my X with -3. So I get 2 equals 4 times -3 is -12 plus B. Add 12 to both sides, and you get B equals 14. Oh no, what did I do wrong? Oh, you see what I did? I put, you see what went wrong? Um, I made a mistake right here. Um, this should be +3. So why did I put -3? Okay, let's see what happens. So it's going to be 2 equals 4 times 3 is 12, +12 plus B, and then subtract 12 from both sides. You get 2 minus 12 is -10. There we go. So our equation is going to be Y equals 4X, and then my B is -10. So that is why it is letter D. Okay. Okay, good. So really, I think you could have just, you didn't have to find this Y because we had the slope, and in order to find the B, we only need 1 point. So you could have used 3 comma 2. You could have also used -1, -14. It would give you the same answer. Okay, so I know there's a lot to do in one question. Question 3 says, what is the equation of the line passing through points A, B? So there's actually, if you really think about it, there's actually one, two, three. There's 3 linear lines, right? Uh, the first linear line is line segment AB. That is a straight line. And then the other one is line segment CB. And the other one is AB. What is the equation of line passing through A to B? So we got to find this linear line. And as you can see, they use the form y equals mx plus b. And unfortunately, they didn't give us any. They did not give us the slope, and they did not give us the b. They give us 2 random points. So my first point is at point A, which is -4, comma 7. My second point is 3, comma -3. Okay. So I'm gonna find my slope by labeling this x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I'm going to use the formula y2. Yeah, it's something you have to know. Y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So this is why I label it because you can easily get this mixed around. So what is my y2? -3 minus my y1, which is 7. What is my x2? 3 minus my x1. So be careful. It's minus my x1, so it's minus a -4. Okay. Simplify. So on the numerator, what is negative 3 minus 7? 8, 9, 10. Negative 10, right? Negative 3 and a negative 7 is negative 10. And then on the bottom, two negatives becomes a positive. So 4 plus 3 is 6, 7. Okay, so my slope is negative 10 over 7. So it's going to be y equals negative 10 over 7x plus b. Now, do I know what my b is? No. Is there some Is there some you can eliminate? Yes, you can eliminate A because it doesn't have a slope of negative 10 sevenths. You can't do B. You can't do, I mean, you can't eliminate B or C because they have a slope of negative 10 sevenths, but you can eliminate letter D because it has a positive slope of 10 sevenths. Okay, so how do you find your B, your Wiener set? So from the 2 points you chose, it doesn't matter which one. I don't know. I'll use this one, 3 and negative 3. So I'm going to replace my Y with negative 3. And then I'm going to replace my x with 3 plus b. So let me clean this up. So it's negative 3 equals, what's negative 10 over 7? What's negative 10 times 3 is negative 30 over 7 plus b. And then I'm going to solve for b by getting rid of the fraction. Okay, so I can't just cross multiply because there's 3 sides. So I'm just going to get rid of the fraction. And how do I get rid of the fraction? I'm going to multiply all 3 sides by the lowest common denominator. So what is my lowest common number? So we have a 1, a 7, and a 1. So my LCD is 7, right? If you need a refresher on LCD, there's supplementary videos. But basically, if you look at the numbers on the bottom, they're all in the most primest form. And if I see repeating base of 1 here and a repeating base 1 here, but they're both to the power of 1, so that's why I'm going to use 1. And I'm going to use the base 7 because I don't see 7 repeating. So put it all together, 1 times 7 is 7. So 7 times 3 is negative 21. 7 times negative 30 over 7. So the trick is if they're the same on the top and bottom, they disappear. So you're left with negative 30. And then 7 times b is 7b. Solve for b by adding 3 to both sides. And then what's 30 minus 21? 9. And then divide this by 7, you get b equals 9 sevenths. So it looks like it is letter C because it has a slope of negative 10 sevenths and a b of 9 sevenths. Okay, we got it all right. So yeah, this was finding equation using 2 points. So this will definitely come up on the real test. So you need to rewatch this video. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna stop here.